felt like I wanted to be a foster family before I even met you. I think this is my purpose. Like, I want to do this someday when I get older. Just wanted to show God's love and like having kids come to our house, just being like a safe home for them.
We had an extra room in our home and we thought, you know, this room is great as like kind of a nursery area when the kiddos were little, but as they started getting older, we're like, we need to fill this room with kids who need a place to stay.
So we started foster care. Our kids were kindergarten, first grade age. We got our first kiddos that came to live with us. And I think we just jumped right back in afterwards and had 2 more. So after our last few, like maybe we need to take like a nice long break. Feels like we've been doing this for several years. And then Nico came into our life. I was meeting with some foster moms. We had this great community and we got together for coffee. And she was saying that she had this special needs foster son, but things were really hard. She had multiple kids with multiple medical needs and it just felt like it was hard to take care of all of them. That night, couldn't sleep at all. And I called her the next day and I was like, so if you seriously are gonna need to find a different home for this boy, if you're feeling like you can't care for him, we would love to. So he stayed with us for the weekend and you were a little cautious. We were like, wow, he's got a lot of medical needs. Like this will be a lot for us to learn. Like, are you
How
sure?
can I make sure I'm feeding him right, changing him right, doing all the things like, and what if there's a medical emergency or all this stuff? I was super anxious about it. I just didn't feel equipped to be able to help him with medical needs. I mean, I think it took like a full day to put his bed together and then we could finally sit back and I just saw Nico and held his hand a little bit and that's when like right away fell in love with him.
And then he stayed with us through foster care and then a few years later it finally went through and he became ours 2 years ago.
I think throughout like the whole adoption process for Nico, we felt like super supported. Tanya was great and just like the whole team like so supportive at DA Blodgett. The coolest thing is knowing that everybody there loves these kiddos and is there for them.
They had been working with DA Blodgett St. John's for quite some time, both in the foster care licensing department, as well as expressing their desire to adopt. So my first impressions of this family was a complete state of awe. Through the months that I worked with them, the love that they have for Nico just poured out, and the genuine interaction between the older siblings was nothing but magical.
There is just such innocence to him. His smile that lights up the entire room. And it's just like that simplicity of his life where he has a couple rattles that he loves. He loves tickles and back rubs and snuggles and all the things in life that just make him shine. It makes me just remember that in every day.
He has such an incredible heart and like he can sleep and be in his wheelchair sleeping and people look at him and they like find joy from that. Or he can be super loud as we're wheeling him out of church because he's adding to the sermon in his way of saying amen. And people find joy in that and he's sharing his joy that way. All the noise, all the background like that's going on in life. When you look at Nico, you're just like, you are what's important. This joy, this smile, like it's incredible.
What I love about Nico is like his smile, and he always brings happiness to everyone around him when he smiles and laughs. One thing I want Nico to know is that he's impacted a lot of people.
If there was one thing I would want Nico to know, it's just that he was fearfully and wonderfully made. And he's perfect the way he is. We love him so much. And he is the best gift that God could give us.
Anyone, I think, going into becoming a foster family, so much of my nerves was like thinking I had to be perfect, like that I had to know everything before I started. And there's so many people out there that can help you learn even about medical needs or complex care, and like you're gonna learn as you go, and have that support system is huge and really helps be successful. Going through this process has given me so much more than I feel like I've given out.
They're such great kids who've just been through some really, really tough stuff. They didn't choose any of it, and it happened to them. Sometimes all that they need is a little extra love. They need some direction and some encouragement, but they're all things that we're equipped to give. The finality on that day, June 21st, 2023, of having this judge say, this is your son. Having our biological kids there with us and having our closest friends there in community, like all there for Nico, supporting him. It was so cool. Just having that moment, one of the best moments of our lives.